Welcome back to the channel. This is Brandon Despia. Today we have a set for you featuring the 46 card branded deck I've been using the last several weeks, testing it out, tweaking it, and making some adjustments and trying some different things. This is the build I used for the match. As you can see, I only made a very slight change. I took one copy of the Nadir Servant and replaced the Incredible Exodia, which I typically had at 2. I turned it into a Nadir Servant just to give it a try. It didn't come up in this match, but I wanted to see if that was better for me, especially since it let me add another board breaker into the side. My side is very much more about the board breakers more than anything else. I just feel like the low impact hand traps don't do enough, especially since I'm not running like 15, 16 hand traps, so to where I would see a bunch of them at once. I felt like it would be better if I ran a board breaker and then just ran the highest impact hand traps beside it. So to that end, we probably will be testing running Droll at some point into this deck. We might take out these board breakers, put in Droll, or we might take out 2 of other cards. I'm not sure. Maybe Droll can go into this deck. Who knows? But yeah, this is the 46 card deck. And by the way, I really appreciate you guys checking out the last 2 videos. It's doing pretty well, for the channel anyways. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're over halfway there, and I really appreciate the support, even if it's just to have a conversation, to understand something, or maybe even express a differing opinion about branded. I don't really care. The point is to have the conversation so that the archetype can grow and get stronger. And, and that's really all that matters to me. So if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and check out both of these videos. I think they're very, very important, and it really gives you a good idea of what I'm thinking here. And there's also a reason why I wanted to show this particular match today. This one is against the Galaxy Eyes deck. This match is a pretty good, this first game anyway, is a pretty good illustration on what happens if you don't perfectly hand trap this deck, or even if you do, even if you are hand trapping me, what can end up happening to you, if you make a few mistakes here and there. He has his Bestial Magnuma, which actually is pretty good against me if he uses it right. And then he has the Ash Blossom, which is, another really good hand trap. So let's see how he uses it, and you let me know in the comments if you agree with the way he tries to prevent my board from being created. So let's start with the game. I'm going first. I start off with the normal summon Zeroa to see if he would shotgun anything. And since I had Spenta in my hand already, I decided to just discard it and afterwards and see if he would pull the trigger on any hand traps. Honestly, I would have gotten the Crowley through this, and then I would have gotten my Synchro 8. So since he has Ash, it would be really nice if he Ashes it, to be honest. Let me just go ahead and slow this down a little bit before we continue. All right, so let's see how he responds. I discard the Spenta to search for Crowley. He Ash Blossoms that, and I'm super excited about that. Super duper excited about this. To be fair, this would get me into the Exodia Synchro, and he probably doesn't know that I'm playing branded at this point. And this is also one of the reasons why I like Magistus, because sometimes, people don't know what you're running, right? Until they see, that they made a huge mistake. He also ended up going into Bestial Magnum. I guess he knows about Magistus a little bit more than I gave him credit for, because he immediately got rid of that, so I can't use his effect to get the Artemis from the graveyard, from the extra deck, equip it, and then still do its thing. The problem is, Zeroa has its own natural effect that, I still have access to, which would still get me the Crowley for the level 8 Synchro anyway. And in this case, I've eaten 2 hand traps off of a discarded Spenta. This couldn't get any better for me in terms of having a Fallen of White Dragon resolve unabated. So he gets his mags out. He banishes that, and he negates it. Magnamut's effect is going to activate. I'm also going to activate my Zero's effect to get the Artemis, and Artemis is going to go ahead and grab the Crowley. I'm going to activate Crowley's effect to go ahead and special summon it onto the field. No need to activate its effect. We're going to synchro summon into Ecclesia the Dark Dragon. Now, I have Fall of the White Dragon, and I have 2 cards that can, well, there's, Molcharmi Fuwalos that can gain me advantage through Branded in High Spirit. So I'm immediately thinking I'm going to go into the Springens kit off of this Ecclesia. I activate the Ecclesia, the Springens kit effect, and I get the Branded High Spirits and send back one of the Fuwalos. Then I activate the effect of Fall of the White Dragon and send the Red Albion so I can get out the White Albaz, get Ecclesia, tribute the Ecclesia, and get the Golden Sword Soul. Then we're going to synchro summon, but first I'm going to go ahead and use Branded in High Spirits. And the reason why I'm doing that now is because I have the Golden Sword Soul on the board. So the plan is to go into Psyframe Lord Omega. And when it banishes itself, it's going to trigger the Golden Sword Soul to special summon a monster, a light spellcaster with equal attack and defense. So I want that Quem in my hand so that the Golden Sword Soul can special summon it from my hand. Alright, we get the Quem in my hand. We'll send the Molcharmi Fuwalos and the Renbrum. We're going to go ahead and synchro summon. I leave the Albaz on the board, and I go for Psyframe Lord Omega. Before I activate his effect, I'm thinking, okay, he just put a dragon on the board, and I have Fallen the White Dragon, so this is probably going to be an Albalanetus, and that will allow me to trigger the Quem. So I'm pretty much going crazy right now. I'm going to activate the Psyframe Lord Omega's effect. I'm going to banish one of the cards in his hand. Then I activate the effect of Golden Sword Soul, and we're going to special summon the Quem in my hand. Activate its effect, send Cartesia to the graveyard, contact Fuse into Albalanetus. This triggers the Quem, and then I will get the Cartesia on the board. This cannot be used as fusion material, so we're going to use the Quem and the Cartesia to sync with the fusion summon into Grand Guignol. Activate Grand Guignol's effect, and we're going to go ahead and send the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. End phase, we're going to get the Cartesia and the Ecclesia into our hand as discard fodder. Very, very nice. We're also going to get the Dragon that Devours the Dogma to put a copy of the Tribrigamer Courier in our hand, because that's going to be online very soon. Red Albion's effect activates is going to go ahead and grab me a copy of Branded Opening. And this is the play you've seen in the videos earlier. We're going to go Branded Opening, get the Luber, and the Luber is going to get us the Branded in red, and that's going to go into Lubellion, into Mirror Jade. So we'll go ahead and get that done. So you can see with the interruptions that we went through 2 hand traps. Now you can say he used them a little haphazardly, but still, but that's on him. We take those. So 2 hand traps, and then I ripped 1. So he has 2 cards in his hand. Gonna get a 3rd card, and he's gonna have all this disruption to go through. Once we're done with this board, as long as I don't do something really stupid, we should still be able to win this game. The game is pretty much, in the bag. Mirror Jade. Of course, I don't know what's in his hand at this time. He could totally have like something really ridiculous. He draws into Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon. So, and I saw the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, so I'm thinking a Galaxy Eyes deck anyway, or at least some type of level 8 spam, right? All right. And he gets that. So actually, that Magnum Hunt did him a great job to help get him some advantage back, to be honest. Because he got the Infinity Dragon, I think, through the Magnum Hunt, and now he just drew into Galaxy Eyes after Glow Dragon. Huh. Okay, so he's going to try to get some Synchro 8s on the board, basically. He did special summon a monster to a monster's effect, so I'm thinking, you know what, it'll be really good to get Grand Guignol's effect to trigger early, so I can potentially negate the effect of a Xyz monster, because I'm assuming that's what he wants to do. And then, if he has a way to negate that with whatever monster he's going into with the Xyz summon, I have the Mercurier as a backup. So I'm thinking, let's get Luluwa on the board now. All right, he special summons Afterglow. I go ahead and Mirror Jade. Get rid of that. Then we're activate the Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon. And I think I send Titanic Cloud off of this. And Quem is gonna get on the board from the graveyard. Quem's effect's going to activate, and it's going to send the Tri-Brigade Brigand's kit from the deck, which will in turn special summon the exodia from the graveyard, so now I have access to OG Albaz. So at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to wait until I think it's the most optimal time to go into the dragon that devours the dogma using his board. Alright, he brings out another monster. I go exodia. I'm going to go into Albaz here. Albaz is going to discard the Tri-Brigade Mercurier, and we're going to go to the Dragon Devours the Dogma. We're going to activate its effect. And we're going to send 2 fusion monsters back to the graveyard. We send Albion the Branded Dragon and the other copy of the Dogma Dragon. He still gets an opportunity to go into Divine Glow Shadow Dragon Dragaluxion. So he's still able to do all. This deck has a lot of follow up, to be honest, which is pretty neat. He does go into an Xyz summon, so we're going to go ahead and use the effect of Luluwa Lilith. And we're going to use the effect of Quem to special summon the Tri-Brigade Mercurier for an additional negate. And then this Luluwa Lilith's going to negate that as well as boost the board. So this is pretty much game set. So yeah, that was the first game. Second game, obviously going second here, he has King Sarcophagus, Schwarzschild, Infinity Dragon again, Bestial Serenir, Dragon's Light and Darkness, and he has Branded Beast. So this is some type of Bestial King Sarcophagus. This does feel like a level 8 spam, and I kind of don't know what kind of fusion or what his extra deck is really like. So there's a lot of it is just, yeah, okay, this makes sense. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I have the Radiant Typhoon Vision, Forbidden Droplet, Nibiru, Feather Duster, evenly matched. So we just have like the craziest board-breaking package going second. No starters though, which is a little bit scary, but we should be able to just break whatever board he makes at this point. And then hopefully Radiant Typhoon Vision will draw me 2 cards, and that could draw me into a starter. That's essentially what I'm banking on here. But we have the evenly matched to just go ham really quick. I'm thinking to myself at this point, I don't have another quick play spell, so I might have to just keep the droplet and just go evenly matched, get him with 1 card left on the board. I know already at this point, I don't know too much about this deck, right? But I do know they probably do run the Xyz monster that negates spells, and I think it's right here, the Titanic, the Hope Harbinger. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have a Harpy's Feather Duster just to do bait an interruption, bait something, and then we'll be able to get the evenly matched and droplet, to resolve. Anyways, let's go right ahead. He brings out the Infinity, goes into an immediate Synchro 8, Xyz 8, goes into Dragluxion, and then he has, he gets the Tachyon Primal. It's going to go into his plays unabated pretty much here. So Tachyon Dragon. I tried Nibiru here, and he gets the Tachyon Transmigration. Now you might be thinking, why'd you do that? He's gonna obviously he has it for negation. I'm thinking to myself, bro, like let's just get it out of the way now. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't even destroy, right? It doesn't even destroy. It doesn't even. Yeah. Wait. Look at this card. If you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster, which he does, right? Activates Chain Link or higher, negate the activation of your opponent's spell, trap cards, and monster effects activated before this card in the chain. And if you do, shuffle the negated cards on the field into the deck. So I get to basically waste his counter trap, and I keep the Nibiru because it's not on the board. So actually, this is a pretty good use of Nibiru just to get this thing out of the way, because I don't want this thing messing with my evenly matched. So yeah, I'm totally fine with that. But the rest of his combo is going to essentially go uninterrupted. So let's see what he comes up with here. Man, I saw the Brennan Regained, and I was like, oh, wow, this guy runs Bestials too, huh? Cool. So yeah, he does get out the Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy. Dragalubion is on the board as well. I cannot target it with card effects. I'm trying to figure out why did he bring that out. Maybe someone in the chat can let me know how this works. But he has a Galaxy-Eyes Tachyon Dragon, which will allow him to negate the effects of all over face-up monsters currently on the field during the battle phase, which, okay, it has to be at the start of the battle phase, so evenly matched is still fine. Not gonna lie, this board seems kind of whack. Not gonna lie. I think he may have made a mistake. Anyways, I draw another Typhoon Vision, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I have another quick play for Viridian Typhoon Vision. As I told you guys before in my deck profile, even if I didn't have another quick play spell, if I shotgun this 85% of the time, it's going to resolve. Even if I had no quick play spells in the hand, so I was still in a pretty good position. So we're going to start off with the Harpy's Feather Duster here. Harpy's Feather Duster is going to get negated. We expected that. We're just trying to potentially get bait a back row card, but you know that's totally okay. Then we're going to go to a battle phase, evenly matched during the end of the battle phase, and we clear out his entire board except for one card. I found out, by the way, and I thought this would work, but it didn't happen one match. If you're wondering why I didn't use Droplet to get this off the board, for some reason, you know, and I looked it up afterwards because I thought I was corrected about it, but I wasn't. And maybe some of you guys felt the same way. Evenly matched will still leave him with one card on the board, even if I use Droplet to, you know, like tribute to evenly matched, right? So it doesn't really change anything. So, you know, that's good. That's a good thing for you guys to know if you weren't aware. He just has gold sarcophagus. I mean, king sarcophagus left. And to be honest, my hand still isn't. I have no starters in my hand. So, you know, we activate Radiant Typhoon Vision to try to draw 2. Hopefully into a starter. We don't draw into a starter, but then he just surrenders. And it's like, I guess that's fair. I have Nibiru. I have Droplet. He only has he's gonna whatever he draws is gonna be fine. I don't know. I think he may have given up too early, but you know, hey, you know, maybe he just thought it was game over after I just basically pot of greed. But yeah, drew into another evenly match. Quite insane. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to show you these matches, these games. The first one showed you pretty much what happens if you don't properly hand trap this deck. And he used 2 hand traps, and maybe he felt threatened by the Magistus engine for whatever reason enough to use both of the hand traps that way. And technically, it wasn't a bad decision, considering he knew nothing about what I was running beforehand, right? It wasn't really too bad because, you know, well, actually, no, I lie. It was pretty bad. I'm sorry. It was pretty bad. If you just read the Magistus cards, you'll know that unless you negate the Zoroa, you have to negate the Zoroa and then somehow banish the Spenta from the graveyard. But I had fallen the White Dragon as backup, so yeah, we would have played through 3 hand traps technically with that hand. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Just a quick reminder at the end of the video, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are about this deck. If you have any cool ideas or ways you've been playing the deck, let me know. I would love to hear from you, actually. And I'll continue to tweak and play around with the deck to try to find the best way to play Branded with this build. To be honest, so I'll just give you guys a quick heads up. I'm trying to wonder if I want Nadir Servant in this build or not. Like, part of me really, really likes Nadir Servant, and I think it should stay. So I'm really not sure about that. I have the Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, of course, but I kind of also want to have a copy of the Dogmatica Ecclesia too. So one of these cards might become an Ecclesia, to be perfectly honest with you. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, that's about it. Exoton Night hasn't been coming up too much, but it's probably because I've been winning like too consistently, so that's fair. Anyways, that's my thoughts for now. It was a little bit of a quick set, but I still wanted to post it. So take care and have a great day.